Hi, in this video, I'm going to introduce how you can support multiple language in CVC. To do this demonstration, we will base it on the previous demo file that I have created in earlier videos. And for this demonstration, I will add a new window into the touch panel. To do that, double click on Windows. And as you can see, there are already 3 Windows items in the touch panel Windows container. We have got full screen window 1, which showcases buttons that we have created earlier. Navigation bar 1, which is actually a navigation bar to toggle between the two pages that we have created. And finally, the full screen window 2, where we have demo the basic graphic library. So now let's insert another window. Go to My Project Resources, click on the Graphic Collection tab, and go under Containers, drag and drop a new full screen window into the system. Go back to Navigation bar, insert another button on the navigation bar, maybe we call it Temperature, and next go to the newly created window, click on the join, select the join as main, and the navigation bar, link it to button number 3, which is the button that we have created earlier in the navigation bar 1, button 3. Alright, start the simulation. Click on temperature, you will see the blank page being shown. To demo this feature, we will need to insert some graphic objects into it, so double click on the full screen window 3 to get into the working window for the full screen window 3. A text label into the window. Click on My Project Resources and click on the Graphic Collection tab. Right click on the My Project Resources window and insert a new resource. This time we want to enter the basic label Graphic Collection. Open the Graphic Collection and insert a static text. So in this static text, what I'm going to do is to create a new font. Alright, call it Unicode. And what you could do next is to insert a Unicoded font. Arial Unicode MS, which is quite a standard font you can use, that has got Unicode representation for almost all languages in the world. Alright, click on OK to import the font into the system. Alright, it will take some time, as the entire font will be loaded into the system, including the Unicoded font like Chinese, Japanese, so on and so forth. Click OK and select the font for display. You realize the text, the font here will be changed a little, alright, because we have just changed the font. So now next, what we will do next is that under text, the text to field, I will change the text to a different name, or rather I'll change the text to display a different text information. So I'll put in English. I'll change the name to English. Alright, so the text has been changed to English. Alright, next, what I'll do next is that I will insert a new button. It will be a toggle button. And the button label will be English. Alright, so it will be the same as here. Next, I'll go to, in order to support multiple language, you have to key in the language equivalent, alright, the third party other language equivalent of all the labels that is being used in the system. So how to access the labels that are being used in the system? Go to My Project Resources, go into My Common tab, double click on this My Common selection. Alright, and you will be able to find the information or the database for my common, alright, in the system. So if you want to look at all the labels, go under ABC, text, alright. My English is the text that I have in the system. So in order to add a language, click on the button Add Language and select from the list here the language you're going to add. For example, I'm going to add a Chinese language and the area is China. So add Chinese China and copy from default. Alright, what happens is that after doing this, you have realized that another column named Chinese China will be created for you with all the information being filled in by copying from default. Alright, so in order to support multiple language or support the Chinese language, I have to key in Chinese equivalent for all these keywords. So what I'll do is that I'll do the first one, English. So the Chinese equivalent for it will be Chinese. Alright, so how to do that? So I have to change the typing to Chinese. So the equivalent for language in Chinese, okay, will be 中文. Okay, that's the language, that's the name of Chinese in Chinese. Alright, I've done this. So let's go back to the full screen window 3, and I'll create this functionality in a way that one press of this button, I will set the language to Chinese, and another press on the same button, I will set it to English. So how do I do that? To handle this on toggle button press, alright, I'll do a detection of this is now parameter, and if the parameter is a true, alright, I will set the language to Chinese. If it is a false, I'll set the language back into the default language, which is English. So how to do that? I do a copy of the parameter, and next I would insert the if statement. Okay, first I'll copy the parameter, and next I'll insert the if statement into the process. If then, else, and if. This is a standard if then else statement. So for more information about if then else statement, you can go to content. Okay, go into control construction and select if. So this is the sample and example of the if and else statement, and also the format on how to use the if and else statement. Alright, so if is down, then I'll do a set language. So to get the set language, I'll go into commands, others. So there is a command called set language. Okay, and with this I have to key in with the language constant for Chinese. So to do that, very simple, I'll just click Control Space to actually get this. Help this what you call that, auto, how should I put it? So I'll get the IntelliSense pop up. Alright, so the keyword to use is underscore. All our keywords used in the system will be denoted by an underscore, except for commands. So a constant declared by the name language, and I can select under language what is the language that I need to choose. Language Chinese China, which is the language I've created just now. Done. And then copy this same code. Alright, and then change it to language default. It will be called language default. Alright, and done. Go to here. In this way, I've successfully changed the language that we are supporting to English and Chinese. So with one click of the button, we can set the language to English or Chinese. Take note, however, when you set this, when you press on the button, the language disappears. Why is that so? Because there is current language. Let's go back to the setting for the button panel. Let's go back to the setting for the button. For this button that we have created, the language, or rather the font that we are using is the default font. This default font does not contain Chinese. So in order for it to be able to display Chinese, you have to set it to the Unicode font. So that's the effect of the system. If the font that you have chosen is not a Unicode font, you would have to change it to a Unicode font, or else you will not be able to support this font in the language that you want to display, and the display will be totally out. Alright, so you click on the button again. So now you will display properly. Alright, so now I've shown you how to support multiple language, alright, by changing the font, as well as to add a new language in the My Common tab. Alright, and to do a translation of this. However, if you are not familiar with the language and you want to have a third party person to do the translation for you, what you could do is to export this text into a file, a TXT file, and you can send the TXT file to a third party translator and get him or her to translate the information for you and import this information back into the system. Alright, TXT file can be opened with a Unicode text editor. Alright, which in Microsoft context, the notepad will do the trick. So the translator can open this text file using Notepad or WordPad, and he or she can immediately do the translation for you. And you can import the text back into the system by using the import functionality. Alright. For fonts, sometimes you may need to use certain fonts that is non-Unicode. Alright. Reason being is because the font may look better. So if you want to use different fonts for different Unicode or different language, what you can do is that go to the font area here, and you can select different font for different language. Let's say, for example, for English or the default font, I would like to use another font. Say maybe Algebran. Alright, and I'll import this font into the system. And for multi-language, what I can do is that I can do add language here and select the language Chinese China, and copy from default. Okay, and another column will be created for you. And similarly here, what I'll do is that I'll select a new font for Chinese. So what I'll do is that I can select a pure Chinese font. Let me see. If I'm not wrong, Mingyu is one of the Chinese font. Wait, let me see. Let's find another Chinese font. The name I think is Simsan or Simhei. Okay, Simhei is a standard Chinese font. Click on it. Okay, and the Simhei font will be imported into the system. You have to wait a while because Chinese characters is a pictographic characters. Each word has a different meaning and is made up of a different picture. So the importation will be longer. Click on OK. That's it. I have an Algerian font and a Simhei font for different languages. So go back to here. So you'll see the font differently and do a simulation again. Click on temperature. As you can see, the font is totally different, but it will still work. So we are using two different font types for displaying two different languages. Alright. So with this, I would like to wrap up And this is the end of the video for you doing Unicode support on our touch panels. Okay, and to review this system, basically each and every font, when inserted into our system, the entire Unicode library will be loaded into the system, or you can selectively load whichever fonts you want to load, or whichever encoding you want to load into the system. So Q allows you to do this fine control over the various aspects of the system. Okay, so as you can see, when you do font importation of the system, we allow you to choose the type of encoding. All right, for example, English. When you go back to the My Common, the font here, when you do a select font, we allow you to choose the type of code charts to use in the system. And when you choose the code charts, all right, to use, you will import all the symbols that are inside that particular code chart. So if you import Chinese over, so the entire code chart for Chinese will be imported into the system. And this means that you will be allowed to change and the text to display on the touch panel without. Okay, and so this feature means that you'll be allowed to change the text that's being displayed on the panel during runtime. Unlike our old application, System Director, whereby you will only be allowed to change the text during design time, and when the text is loaded into the touch panel during runtime, we will only load the images of the text that is going to be used during the. Okay, we will only load the text that's going to be used in the template. And this means that if you change the Unicode text during runtime, because of the importation is incomplete, you will not be able to display certain characters. Alright, so this means that it's not full Unicode support. Whereas in the case of CVC, you'll be allowed to import the entire character set into the system, meaning that whatever information you display, so long as it's a supported language during design time, you will be able to show the language correctly. Alright. With that, I would like to end this video. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.